I told y'all it was going to happen. I told you it was going to happen. If the tragedy of George Floyd losing his life wasn't enough, now we've got liberals that are blaming Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? How in the world are you trying to make a leap from a black man that was murdered? I have no doubt that it was murder, friends. And I hope that all 4 of those police officers are held accountable. And I also hope this. I've had a lot of messages come to me from law enforcement officers that are acknowledging that they are aware that there are law enforcement officers that do push the envelope. They cross the line. Yet there's this thing called the thin blue line, the blue shield. There's this thing where officers, they don't want to rat on each other. Well, I think ratting is exactly what needs to happen. If you're a law enforcement officer and you know of an individual that has pushed the envelope, that has crossed the line, that is a racist, if they happen to be, if you know that they have an issue with somebody because of the color of their skin, I am challenging you right now. You need to be a rat for the safety, the security, and hopefully to regain the trust of the American people in law enforcement officers. You need to be a rat. You need to tell your chief. And if the chief don't listen, you need to talk to the mayor. And if the mayor doesn't listen, you need to talk to the governor. The police need to police the police, because we need to know that we have faith and can trust our law enforcement officers that are supposed to protect and serve us, the American people, regardless of race. What happened with George Floyd is a travesty, and it's something that is an attack on all Americans. The riots that I've seen in Minneapolis that are taking place, it's not just black folks rioting. There's white folks out there, there's Hispanics out there, because what took place is an absolute attack on all of us. But let me jump back to this for a minute. For those that are trying to blame Donald Trump, there's pictures floating around that are saying that the cop that had his knee on George's neck was wearing a red hat that said, "Make whites great again." Can I just tell you something? Can you use Snopes, who is literally liberal biased? They're very liberally biased. Snopes has already debunked it. So, hey, Ice Cube. Hey, all you other black rappers and celebrities that are trying to connect the dots that aren't there and say, oh, this cop was a Trump supporter, knock it off. You're using the same exact hatred that got George killed. It's ignorance. And it's nothing that any American should have to deal with when we're all mourning the loss of an American and wanting to find out what the truth is. You're spreading lies. Why would you spread lies? It's exactly what I shared yesterday that the mainstream media was going to do. They're going to try to figure out how to paint this on Donald Trump. They're going to blame him for it. It's nonsense. There's also this video going around, this picture going around that says, oh, he was at a Donald Trump rally in Minneapolis. This is him on stage. Wrong again. No, that is not him on stage. That's not the officer that had his knee on George's neck. There is no connection. But let me just tell you something. This is exactly what the mainstream media wants to do. They want to try to continue to fabricate lies to connect racist dots between a president that's actually done more for the black community than any president since Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, the president that freed the slaves. You don't want to hear about that, and the mainstream media isn't going to tell you that. You actually should want to hear about that, because that would make you want to vote for the man that is actually doing more for the black community, the Hispanic community, for women than any past president I can think of, Republican or Democrat. Aren't you all about the truth? Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to stand up for the truth? Or do you want to peddle lies? Do you want to push propaganda that just gets people all riled up, emotionally riled up, with no facts? Friends, we're better than that. America, we deserve better than that from individuals like Ice Cube that have millions of followers, and he ain't the only one. There's a whole lot of celebrities out there that are bashing this president, trying to connect dots that are not there, that even Snopes has debunked as false. Have they taken their posts down? No. Their poster's still up there. We cannot forget that a Democrat once said, never let a good crisis go to waste. That's exactly what these liberals and these Democrats are doing right now, trying to drive a wedge and figure out a way to blame Donald Trump for 4 cops being high on power and maybe intentionally trying to really harm him because he was black. I'll wait for the facts to come out on that. But regardless, they absolutely were unjustified in the way they treated George, and they murdered that man, and they need to be held accountable, period. But the last thing we need right now are celebrities hearing from, speaking to Americans and trying to blame Donald Trump. So hopefully this video exposing the lies that some of y'all are putting out there, hopefully you share this video. Hopefully people see the truth. And hopefully you celebrities that are trying to point the finger at Donald Trump for the actions of these 4 police officers, hopefully you take your propaganda down, because that's what it is. It's propaganda, it's lies, it's false, it's fake, and you need to be accountable, be responsible to your audience, and take that mess down. David J. Harris Jr. here. If you like my message, you'll love my podcast.